fragrant taste of rose lingered in his mouth. Turkish delights, he thought. The ones at the consulate in Constantinople. Those of you who enjoy the taste of rose water as a gourmet ingredient, can't say I've ever had it. Now open without a key. That makes sense. The laboratorium. Scylla Binaria. Okay, so I think we'll go down that direction without getting that weird stuff out of the way. Can't get through those doors without, you know, finding them open somehow. No, it is pretty dark on that screen compared to what I'm seeing on mine. That is weird. That is weird. I'm guessing my TV settings are different than the game settings themselves. See if I can fix that. Thanks for telling me that. Different monitors have a little different settings, so the displays wind up different. Just curious how much different it looks between the two screens, though. Not usually had that issue with most games I've played, but oh. Yeah, stuff like this screen look about the same cost too, but the other ones don't. It's very curious. Yeah, it looks much darker on my PC screen than it does from here. Curious what I can do about that. Alright, it's not that dark in that corner. For me, it's like bright as day in this room, but it's not that on the monitor over there. I mean, it's bright enough. It's still completely different. Very strange. Oop.
16th of May, 1839. The unflinching African sun has continued to plague our expedition, making it impossible to dig until dusk. How Professor Herbert managed to find the location in these vast plains of nothingness remains a mystery to me. When I asked him about the tomb again, he told me about the legend of Tin Hanan, the mother of us all. An interesting story in its own right, but I can't help feeling there's more. Later that evening, we uncovered a passage beneath the dunes leading to a sand-covered stone structure. The professor was confident it was the tomb we sought and ordered the others to clear the way late into the dark, cold night. Tomorrow, I shall lead the men into the ancient structure, hoping to reach the burial chamber. No matter what the professor is keeping from me, the dig should yield something interesting to take back to London and the British Museum.
There you go. Archaeology. More. hereby offer my full attention and services to Alexander, Baron of Brennenburg. His contract will reign for a total of 3 years, when my freedom shall return to me. In addition, Alexander, Baron of Brennenburg, is to recommend my services at the Prussian royal court and within the sanctum of the Order of the Black Eagle. May no man break this seal. Wilhelm, House of Garrick. Alright, it's considered dark in there, but again, with me having to adjust the settings on it, doesn't actually look dark to me. It's very off-putting. Definitely looks dark on that screen though. I don't know what to do about that. Yeah, give me a second. Alright. Just trying to adjust some settings on the television monitor because what I'm getting from the image on the computer here and thus what your guys are seeing is significantly more dark than what I'm getting on my actual television monitor. Just trying to see if I could get the two to be a bit more even, but not quite working out that way. But good morning, Disney. Welcome, and happy Monday. Start a new week here. Checking out a new game here. Amnesia, Dark Descent. First game in the Amnesia collection. But the main reason I was trying to make the adjustments is because a lot of these rooms, because I brought up brightness so you guys could actually see what's in the corners and stuff. To you, this looks like a dark room. To me, it looks bright as day on my television. So, unfortunately, because darkness is a particular factor with a lot of the designs of the game, makes it tricky for me to play properly when everything looks bright to me. I'm not really certain what to do about it. Definitely was able to improve it for the picture on your guys' end, but then it obviously did the opposite effect on my end. It isn't necessarily a bad thing, it's nice being able to see everything, but it does mean that when my guy's in a dark room, I don't realize it until my insanity starts rising.
May 1839. My hands tremble as I write. I feel a need to document my tribulation, for I fear that my memory will fail me if I linger.
And the amnesia?
I took some men and ventured into the dark, ancient passage we uncovered. Our torches burned faintly in the murky air as we slowly made our way underground. The men were superstitious and fearful. They argued loudly, and I felt their strange language getting to me. I mustered my strength and yelled at them to continue down the slopes and broken steps. The crudely carved passage confused me. It looked much older than the 4th century structure we had expected. The twisting path emerged into a great antechamber. The walls were lined with statues unlike any I'd ever seen. Despite their unearthly quality, I felt a strange familiarity toward them, which haunts me still. At the far end of the chamber, a great slab of stone sealed off whatever lay ahead. I gave the order to raise it, and as I pushed through the narrow space, the heavy stone suddenly dropped, sealing me inside. I was trapped.
Probably explain the fear of the dark that he clearly has. Yep. Old tomes. My book fell off. Chill, dude. It's just a book. Come on. There we go. There's some more stuff. Okay, nothing else of too much interest to us, but to give it a check. Local history. What? Trying to backcheck, get my bearings from a mapping perspective. Oh, sorry, that's where we came in at. I should have known that from the different type of door. Definitely look through here. And we were in here monkeying around, so okay. Getting my bearings. Yeah, it appears to be this larger room that connects along the hall together. Yep. Doesn't even work. Well, can I? Lantern oil. Mickey bugs. Maps. Not breakable by hand, it's breakable by something I could toss at it. Goodness. Central Prussia. A lot more of these things toss around. I can't light that on the floor. Hey, another note, sweet. Now what's happening?
17th of May, 1839.
A mysterious memory this time.
Unforgiving stone wall for what seemed like an eternity, I realized it was hopeless. I was trapped. I fell to the ground, gasping for air, trying to focus. That's when I saw a faint blue shimmer. My weakened body was heavy to carry, but I managed to push myself toward the enchanting light. It was waiting for me. Enclosed in dark nothingness, I felt myself drawn to the mystic light. I reached out, closing it in my hands. The faint glow escaped my fingers and began to spark brightly and spirit me away, unlocking alien memories of spiraling towers, endless deserts, and impossible geometry. The next thing I can remember is the grating sound of stone being lifted, the voices of the Arabs pulling me to safety, and grasped firmly in my hands was the broken pieces of a most peculiar relic.
A bit more of his backstory there. Wheat, tinderbox. Tinderbox. Toss. And what was in this room? Floor plans. Elinite imagines tablettes. Yeah, what?
Much of the castle is old and hasn't been tended to for centuries. When the shadow arrives, it won't take long until things start falling apart.
We're just buying time anyway. Let's do what we can.
There isn't much to be done about the wars. We should reinforce weak structures. The ground will tremble and there's a risk everything will cave in on us, especially downstairs. Here, and there. Let's get the servants working on it. You have to be swift when you activate the first one. You hear that? If it stops, you'll have to start over.
Isn't all this a bit excessive?
You can never be too careful, Daniel.
That looks important. Local folklore, Aldstadt and Brandenburg Castle 1801. Another region rich with lore is Aldstadt, deep within the East Prussian woods. For centuries, there have been stories surrounding the hamlet and its neighbor, Castle Brandenburg. Quiet, forest-clad mountains dressed with scattered lakes is as picturesque as can be, albeit the area is haunted by the dark. Ask any local and you will hear proof of the widespread superstition. All travelers should indulge themselves in such conversations, since it will certainly serve as exciting entertainment. All of them have their own twists on the tales, but there are some motifs that keep reappearing. The Gatherers. The story reaches all the way back to the time of the 30 Years' War. It said that soldiers who abandoned their duty got lost in the cold, dark woods and were forever damned to roam the grounds. Bodies wrought by their tainted souls have left them disfigured and empty of essence. Many have cited them over the years and described them as horrid revenants. They move silently through the woods, shying away from any beholder. They are called gatherers, as they seem to follow some ambition to steal living creatures. It's their prey which can be heard struggling inside damp burlap sacks dragged behind them, which reveal their presence. What dark scheme do they follow? Or visit undone? Henrik Cornelius Agrippa, well-known erudite, visited Aldstadt in the start of the 16th century. He resided in the local inn for a fortnight as he looked for remnants of kingdoms past. During his stay, all the prominent members of society paid notice. He is mentioned in many records at the time. One day he went to investigate a burrow in the northwestern glades, only to never be seen again. Henrik is known to have passed away in Grenoble some 10 years later. He dismissed the notion of ever visiting Aldstadt, which makes you wonder what really happened. Who was this mysterious man who visited the sleepy hamlet in the woods, and what happened to him? And the immortal Baron. The Baron of Brandenburg lives a reclusive life with his family at his castle nearby Aldstadt, and like most of those of noble birth, rumors are inherited alongside with the title. Researching the history reveals little before the castle was consumed by fire in the late 16th century. Rebuilt by Alexander, a nobleman from the Rhinelands claiming the role as protector of the Prussian state. Alexander helped the region to flourish and remained popular throughout his presumed lifetime. The family has always been secretive when it comes to lineage and heritage, therefore the birth and death of Alexander and his offspring has never been fully recorded. This has fed the idea that the Baron is in fact the one and the same who came from the west over 300 years ago, lived through the time of occupation, and joined the coveted Order of the Black Eagle alongside the great leaders of his country. This would be the Alexander we've been having vague memories of. Okay, so I just push it. Can I? Push. Nope. That looks interesting. Oh, that would be the timer thing that my memory recounted. One there and one there, so there's 3 altogether, it looks like. Hey! Good to see you there, Corey. Welcome, welcome. Happy Monday, sir. Zenlu, there you go. And apparently there was more than that, 3. Good to see you this morning. Checking out a new game this morning, Amnesia. It's a little spooky for the Halloween season. In order I'm supposed to be doing these in, is that my problem, or am I just not doing it all together fast enough? There we go. That trigger's done. Talk to Tess. There you go. Good to know. Wine cellar key. Thank you. That's all we're here for. Just being dramatic. Background lore and stuff's nice too, but that's not what we're here for. Alright, regarding closing of the wine cellar. Wilhelm and his fools have endangered my research long enough with their absent-minded handling of the human vessels. The sheriff is keeping a watchful eye on the forest and is killing my trusty servants. Just a matter of time until they follow the trail to Brandenburg. Need to lock Wilhelm and his men up to avoid further investigation from the public. Wine cellar will therefore be sealed off until the matter has been handled. Either the king's men leave or they will starve. Whatever comes first, they can rot for all I care. Maybe I'll feed them some wine. Would in a sense solve both of my problems. Interesting. Need some pancakes, dude. Okay, so in that case, I guess I can leave. I think the fastest way is this direction. Eek. Okay, that actually scared me. Apparently I have to go that way. Normally I would have gone that direction, but... pretty certain it was a shadowy figure of some sort. Also appeared to turn on all the lights. Well, I'm still going, so...